Imagine standing at the bottom of an ocean. But instead of water, it's air. Right now, as you watch this video, about 10 tons of air are pressing down on your body. That's the weight of a large truck. Yet you don't feel crushed. You breathe normally. Your blood flows perfectly. Why? Because life on Earth evolved inside an invisible ocean of air. And without this pressure, life as we know it would instantly collapse. When people think about oceans, they imagine water. Vast blue water stretching to the horizon, waves rising and falling, depths so heavy with pressure that submarines struggle to survive there. But in reality, Earth has two oceans. One of them you can see. The other, you live inside every moment of your life. An ocean made of air. Scientists call this ocean the Earth's atmosphere. And just like the oceans of water, this ocean has weight. Air may feel light, invisible. Almost like nothing, but it is not nothing. Every molecule of air has mass, and because of gravity, trillions upon trillions of tons of air are pulled toward the surface of Earth. Picture it like this: layer upon layer of air stacking upward into the sky, higher and higher and higher. The deeper you go into a water ocean, the heavier the pressure becomes. The same thing happens in this ocean of air, and you, right now, are standing at the very bottom of it. At sea level, the weight of all that air pressing downward creates something scientists call atmospheric pressure. It is a quiet force. You cannot see it. You cannot hear it. But it is everywhere. Measured carefully, that pressure equals about 101,325 pascals. Or if you prefer another unit, about 14.7 pounds per square inch. That number might not sound dramatic. 14 pounds doesn't seem like much. But that number is measured on every square inch of your body. Now imagine your entire body covered with that force. The total pressure pushing on you right now equals roughly 10 tons, about the weight of a large truck. 10 tons pressing down silently every second of your life, which raises a strange and fascinating question. If that much force is pushing on you right now, why are you not crushed? Why don't our bodies collapse like an empty soda can under pressure? Why can we stand here so calmly, breathing, moving, living at the bottom of this enormous, invisible ocean? The answer is one of the most beautiful balancing acts in nature. Because the pressure outside your body is not acting alone. Inside you, there is pressure too. Your lungs hold air. Your blood carries dissolved gases. Your cells are filled with fluid. And all of that creates an outward push. Your body pushes outward, the atmosphere pushes inward, and the two forces meet in a perfect balance. A quiet equilibrium, a balance so stable, so precise, that you can live your entire life without ever noticing it. But without that balance, life on Earth would not exist the way it does. Because this invisible ocean above our heads is not just pressing down on us. It is quietly holding the entire living world together. Think again about the strange fact we just discovered. Right now, the air above you is pressing down with the weight of several tons. An invisible ocean is pushing against your body from every direction. And yet, you feel nothing. No crushing force. No unbearable pressure. Just normal life. So what is stopping that enormous weight from collapsing you? The answer is simple, but also deeply beautiful. Your body pushes back. Your body is not an empty shell. It is filled with liquids, gases, and microscopic structures that create their own internal pressure. Your lungs contain air. Your blood carries dissolved gases. Every cell in your body is filled with fluid. Inside each cell, molecules move constantly, colliding and pushing outward against the cell membrane. This outward push creates what scientists call osmotic pressure. At the same time, your lungs maintain air pressure inside your chest, and your circulatory system maintains pressure within your blood vessels through blood pressure. All of these tiny forces combine into one powerful result. Your body presses outward with nearly the same strength that the atmosphere presses inward. And this balance is maintained by the air surrounding our planet, what we call atmospheric pressure. The outside pressure pushes in. Your internal pressure pushes out. And when those two forces match, they cancel each other. Not violently, not dramatically, but quietly, calmly, like two perfectly balanced hands holding the same weight. This is why you can stand comfortably on the surface of Earth, even though you are surrounded by an ocean of air heavier than anything we normally imagine. But this balance also reveals something deeper about how life works. Life does not exist just by pressure. Life exists because of it. Every organism on Earth, from the smallest bacteria to the largest whale, evolved inside this stable envelope of pressure. Cells were built to operate within it. Blood flows because of it. Breathing depends on it. Remove that pressure, and the balance disappears. In the vacuum of space, where atmospheric pressure is almost zero, the fluids inside the human body begin to behave very differently. Gases expand. Water begins to boil at body temperature. Cells lose the delicate balance that keeps them stable. It is not that space crushes you. It is that space removes the pressure that holds life together. Take a slow breath for a moment. Inhale and then exhale. It feels effortless. So natural that most of us never question how it works. But that simple breath depends on one of the most important forces surrounding our planet, atmospheric pressure. Breathing is not just about your lungs pulling air in like a vacuum cleaner. Your lungs do not suck air. Instead, breathing works because of differences in pressure. When you inhale, a remarkable mechanical process begins inside your body. A large muscle beneath your lungs, called the diaphragm, moves downward. At the same time, the muscles between your ribs expand your chest cavity. Your chest becomes slightly larger. Now something subtle but powerful happens. When the volume inside your lungs increases, the pressure inside them drops. Scientists describe this principle using Boyle's law. When volume increases, pressure decreases. Suddenly, the pressure inside your lungs becomes lower than the pressure outside your body. And nature always tries to balance pressure. Air naturally flows from high pressure to low pressure, so the surrounding atmosphere gently pushes air into your lungs. Not violently, not dramatically, just a quiet movement of air restoring balance. Inside that air is oxygen. Oxygen then travels deep into tiny air sacs called the alveoli. There, oxygen slips into your bloodstream, carried by hemoglobin inside red blood cells. Within seconds, that oxygen begins fueling the chemistry that keeps every cell in your body alive. All of this begins with one simple thing: the pressure of the air around Earth. Now imagine removing that pressure. Imagine suddenly standing in the vacuum of space. Your lungs could expand. Your diaphragm could move. But nothing would happen. There would be no air pressure outside your body to push air inward. Without atmospheric pressure, breathing would stop instantly. Your lungs would become empty chambers, unable to move oxygen into your body. It reveals a quiet truth about life on Earth. Every breath you have ever taken, every breath in your past, every breath you will ever take, depends on a vast ocean of air surrounding our world. An ocean held to the planet by gravity. We cannot see it. We rarely think about it. Yet every moment of your life, that invisible ocean is gently pressing against your body and pushing the very air that keeps you alive into your lungs. Water is one of the strangest and most important substances in the universe. It shapes landscapes. It fills the oceans. It flows through every living cell. But what most people don't realize is that water behaves the way it does because of a quiet force surrounding our planet, atmospheric pressure. Here on Earth, water exists in a remarkable balance. It can become solid, ice forming on a winter morning. It can become liquid, rivers flowing, oceans moving, rain falling from the sky. And it can become gas, invisible water vapor rising into the atmosphere. This ability to shift between solid, liquid, and gas is known as phase transition. And that delicate balance depends strongly on pressure. At the pressure created by Earth's atmosphere, water boils at around 100 degrees Celsius. That is the familiar boiling point we all learn in school. But the boiling point of water is not fixed. It changes with pressure. Lower the pressure, and water begins to boil at lower temperatures. Climb high into the mountains, and water boils earlier. reduce the pressure even further, and something astonishing happens. Water can begin to boil at room temperature. In the near vacuum of space, where atmospheric pressure is almost zero, liquid water becomes unstable. The molecules are no longer held together by surrounding pressure. So the liquid suddenly begins to escape into vapor. Not because it is hot, but because nothing is pressing down to keep it in liquid form. Scientists describe this behavior using the phase diagram of water, which shows how temperature and pressure together determine the state of water. Remove the pressure, and the entire balance changes. This means something extraordinary. The oceans, lakes, and rivers of Earth are not only held in place by gravity, they are also stabilized by the pressure of the air above them. In a sense, the atmosphere acts like a lid on Earth's water system. It gently presses down on the surface of the oceans, keeping water stable as a liquid. Without that lid, liquid water would rapidly evaporate away. Rivers would disappear. Lakes would vanish. Even the oceans would slowly turn into vapor, drifting into space. And with them would disappear the complex cycles that shape our planet's climate, because water moving between ocean, sky, and land creates what scientists call the water cycle. Evaporation, cloud formation, rain, storms, all of weather depends on this movement of water through the atmosphere. And that entire system exists because of a quiet, invisible ocean of air pressing down on our world. So the atmosphere is not just something we breathe. It is the invisible force that stabilizes Earth's water, drives the planet's weather, and quietly maintains the fragile balance that makes life possible. Above your head stretches the sky, vast and open, invisible, intangible, almost like empty space. But it is anything but empty. It is an enormous ocean of air, an ocean pressing down on Earth with quiet, unrelenting force. And that pressure does more than allow you to breathe. It protects every living thing on this planet. Think of it as a delicate, invisible blanket wrapped around the world. It spreads heat evenly from the equator to the poles, softening the extremes of temperature. Without it, some regions would be furnace hot, while others would freeze, and life as we know it could not survive. But the atmosphere's protective role goes further. It slows down dangerous radiation from the sun. The ultraviolet rays that can burn cells and mutate DNA are partially absorbed before they reach us. Without this shield, life on land would be far more fragile. And then there is the sky's unsung hero, meteors. Every day, thousands of tiny rocks from space enter Earth's atmosphere. Most are harmlessly burned up before they touch the surface. The air pressure and friction act together, incinerating them in a spectacular show of light. Without this invisible barrier, these meteors would strike the ground with devastating force. Now imagine Earth without this ocean of pressure. The air would be thin. Breathing would become almost impossible. Liquid water would boil away. The oceans, lakes, and rivers vanished. The land would resemble Mars, frozen deserts, barren and lifeless. Radiation would strike unchecked. Even small meteors could devastate the surface. Life on Earth relies on a delicate equilibrium. Every breath you take, every river that flows, every storm that brings rain, all of it is possible because the invisible ocean above presses down. It keeps the planet alive, shields us from harm, and maintains the balance that sustains billions of species. We rarely see it. We rarely think about it. Yet without that ocean of air, life would be impossible. Every living thing on Earth owes its existence to this quiet, invisible pressure. It is a force both gentle and relentless, subtle yet monumental, a guardian that surrounds us, keeping us alive every second of our lives.